What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Take a look at this. This is the Spurs' schedule difficulty across the entire season. You can see the swings, you can see the valleys, and right now, we're climbing again. Up next, 3 straight opponents above league average. First, Philadelphia, then Detroit, then the Clippers. And here's what makes this stretch fascinating. Philly is fast, over 103 possessions per game. They protect the ball, they score in bunches, but they struggle to finish defensive possessions, weak defensive rebounding. That's a tempo battle. Then comes Detroit, fast like Philly, but different. They bring elite defense, 105.1 defensive rating. They generate steals, blocks, chaos. That's a physical battle. And then, on the second night of a back-to-back, the Clippers, the oldest team in the league, controlled pace under 100 possessions, methodical, half-court execution. That's a discipline battle. So this isn't just 3 games. This is 3 different stress tests: tempo, physicality, execution under fatigue. Because if the Spurs can navigate this stretch, we're not just surviving the schedule. We're proving we can adapt to any identity thrown at us. Now let's break it down one by one. Now let's talk about what Philly is actually going to run. They're not going to experiment. They're going to lean into their strength, and that's pick and roll ball handler creation. They're top tier in that action. Their ball handlers operate in the upper percentile offensively, and they trust that set to generate advantages. The chain is simple: high pick and roll, collapse the defense, kick out to spot up shooters. And that's where it gets dangerous. Because while the Spurs are strong defending pick and roll ball handlers, we're not elite at defending spot ups. So if we overhelp, if we send 2 to the ball too early, Philly will spray it out and turn this into a rhythm 3-point game. So defensively, this is about discipline. Contain, stay home, live with contested 2s instead of open 3s. Now flip it. What is San Antonio's best offensive weapon in this matchup? It's not isolation. It's not slow half-court creation. It's offensive rebounding and cutting. We are elite crashing the glass. Philly is bottom tier at finishing defensive possessions. That's a structural mismatch. If we extend possessions, we kill their transition game and wear them down. And then there's cutting. We rank near the top of the league in scoring off cuts. Philly struggles defending off-ball movement. That means backdoor actions, weak side movement, punishing ball watching. So this game isn't about who plays faster, it's about who stays disciplined. If the Spurs chase ball handlers and rotate recklessly, Philly wins. If the Spurs stay home, dominate the glass, and move without the ball, we control the math.
Now we move to Detroit, and this is a completely different problem. Detroit doesn't finesse you, they pressure you, they wear you down. Start with transition, they're top tier running the floor, and they defend transition well too. That means if you turn the ball over or take bad shots, they are gone, and once they get downhill, they don't slow down. The Spurs are strong in transition defense, but that only matters if we protect the ball, because this game starts with ball security. Then there's the post. Detroit is elite scoring in the post, and they're elite defending it. So this isn't just about one-on-one battles, it's about physicality. They want to collapse you inside, force help, and then play off your rotations. And here's the real pressure point. They are elite defending pick and roll. That's a problem. If the Spurs try to run standard high pick and roll over and over, Detroit will blow it up at the point of attack. They'll shrink the floor, they'll force late clock situations. That's where the turnovers come. So offensively, we have to shift. This is a movement game. Cuts, dribble handoffs, screen away actions. Detroit is aggressive defensively. So punish that aggression, backdoor them, make them think instead of attack, and then crash the glass. They're elite at stopping the first shot, but they're not dominant finishing possessions. Extra possessions matter, especially on the front end of a back-to-back. So this isn't a tempo game, this is a composure game. If the Spurs protect the ball and make Detroit guard movement, we have a chance. If we get dragged into isolation and turnover basketball, that's when Detroit separates. And remember, we still had the Clippers the next night. This isn't just about winning, it's about surviving without emptying the tank. Now we get to the Clippers, and this is where the back-to-back really shows up, because the Clippers don't beat you with chaos, they beat you with patience. This is a half-court team, a controlled team, an experienced team. They don't rush possessions, they don't overextend, they hunt matchups, and their biggest weapon, isolation. They rank near the top of the league in isolation efficiency. That's not random, that's intentional. They trust their shot makers to create late in the clock. Now the Spurs are solid defending isolation, but on the second night of a back-to-back, that becomes a leg test. Isolation defense is sliding your feet. It's staying in front, it's contesting without fouling. And when help comes, the Clippers are ready. They're elite in spot-up offense. So if you overcommit to the drive, the kick-out three is automatic. That's the trap. This game won't be fast, it won't be wild, it will be slow, deliberate, possession by possession. Now offensively for San Antonio, this is harder than Philly, harder than Detroit in a different way. The Clippers defend cuts extremely well, they defend handoffs well, they rebound well. There isn't a glaring weakness, so this becomes about execution, clean spacing, smart shot selection, limiting empty trips, because when games slow down, mistakes get amplified. And here's the real storyline. Philly tests your discipline, Detroit tests your physicality, the Clippers test your composure on tired legs. If the Spurs can defend isolation without overhelping, if they can stay connected on shooters, if they can execute late in the clock, then this stretch becomes a statement. But if fatigue creeps into decision making, the Clippers are the kind of team that quietly closes the door. And that's what makes this the toughest game of the three. Now let's talk players to watch. Starting with Philadelphia, the focus is Tyrese Maxey. When Philly leans into pick and roll, he's the engine. His speed changes the geometry of the floor. If he gets downhill, the defense collapses and the kick-out threes start flowing. So this game starts with containing Maxey without overhelping. If the Spurs control him, they control Philly's rhythm. The dark horse, Kelly Oubre Jr. His recent scoring trend has dipped, but he's still in the rotation. That makes him dangerous. All it takes is one transition bucket or one early three, and suddenly the spacing opens up. If he stays cold, Philly shrinks. If he heats up, the math changes. Now Detroit. The name is Cade Cunningham. He dictates everything. Pace, tempo, physicality. When he's aggressive, Detroit's offense becomes downhill and punishing. On the front end of a back-to-back, that's exhausting. Keep him out of the paint, and you force Detroit into tougher looks. The dark horse here is Isaiah Stewart. His recent momentum has dipped, but if he reasserts himself on the glass, this turns to a possession battle. He doesn't need 20 points to swing the game, just physical dominance. And finally, the Clippers. This one is simple. Kawhi Leonard. Isolation is their identity, and Kawhi is the closer. On tired legs, defending him possession after possession becomes a mental and physical test. If the Spurs stay disciplined and don't overcommit help, they can survive it. The dark horse, Brook Lopez. If he's protecting the rim and stretching the floor, that compresses everything offensively. But if his mobility slips late in the back-to-back, that's where San Antonio can attack. 3 teams, 3 stars, 3 swing variables. Alright, we've broken down the matchups, we've identified the players to watch, we've studied tendencies and weaknesses. But before we move forward, let's check our own pulse. Team-wise, this is where the Spurs stand right now. If you zoom out and look at the Spurs right now, the pulse is strong, but it's complicated. 43-17 plus 6.2 net rating. Top tier balance on both ends. This is not a fluke team. Offensively, they play fast. Over 102 possessions per game. They move the ball. Assist ratio above 63%. They take threes at volume nearly 42% of their shots, and most importantly, they protect the ball. 12% turnover rate. That's elite discipline. Defensively, they're above average. 108 defensive rating. Strong defensive rebounding. Solid rim protection. So what makes them click? When they win, it's efficiency and control. Higher field goal percentage. Better three-point rhythm. Lower turnovers. Rebounding edge. The loss model told us something important. Turnovers and foul trouble predict losses more than shot volume does. When they get sloppy, the structure cracks. Now let's talk about people. Who continues clicking? Victor Wembanyama is still the central axis. Even when his trend graph dips, his impact metrics, plus minus, rebounding, rim pressure, keep him foundational. Devin Vassell is steady, efficient, quietly stabilizing. Dylan Harper's minutes are consistent, and his trend line is neutral to slightly positive. That's sustainable production. Now, who needs help? Stefan Castle is playing heavy minutes but trending down across multiple metrics. Wemby and Castle both showing negative short-term momentum while carrying major load. That's fatigue or schematic pressure. Julian strong rolls, but his net trend score suggests volatility. They need cleaner role definition. Will Mason Plumlee plays tomorrow or sometime in the stretch? Let me know what you think. And the subtle warning sign? The last 10 games are 9-1, but labeled declining. Defense in the last 5 games is giving up over 111 per game. That's not collapse, but it's drift. So where do they stand? They are a structured, balanced, data-backed contender. They win through pace, movement, and discipline. They lose when they rush, foul, or over-dribble. The core is real. The identity is stable. But the recent pulse says this: rotation tightening and efficiency management will decide whether this becomes a 1C run or a second round ceiling. And if you're chasing home court in the West, details matter now. So, what do you guys think? What is your prediction? I am thinking it could be 1 dub and 2 loss. That is my pessimistic take. I'd love to hear yours. Until then.